A run in my stockings right before a job interview. In a panic, I called my rival. Are you out of your car yet? Come give me a hand. A stubborn voice on the other end. I'm not following you. I didn't even look up from my ruined legwear. You copy my outfits, my makeup, even my perfume, every single day. Now get over here. I can smell you. 1. The other end of the line erupted in a flurry of flustered, girly squeaks. After what felt like an eternity, she finally calmed down enough to answer. Okay, just give me a minute. I hung up without another word, only to turn and find my best friend, Maya, staring at me with a look of pure confusion. Who was that? So on call for you? Trevor's little lapdog. Maya's eyes went wide. Holy shit, Chloe. You've got guts, asking your rival for a favor. She's not really a rival. She's just a simp for Trevor. I doubt he even remembers her name. Maya let out a breath of relief. That's true. Half the campus is crushing on him, but you're the only girl he ever actually looks at. She paused. So, is this girl pretty? I thought for a moment. I guess so. She just doesn't have her own style. She copies everything I wear. We walked into the office building and found the restroom to await the stocking delivery. Suddenly, Maya started shaking me by the shoulders. She copies you? Everything? Oh my god, do you think she's trying to replicate your path to success? Her eyes grew wider. Or maybe she's into some weird voodoo shit. Trying to steal your luck by mimicking you. What if your recent string of failed interviews is her doing? I was stunned by the sheer chaos of her imagination. That little pipsqueak, practicing dark arts? Her big, innocent eyes practically screamed, I am a simple, harmless creature. The thought of her with all her wide-eyed, collegiate naivety trying to curse me was almost laughable. I wish she'd try something, I snorted. Unfortunately, my job-hopping saga is entirely orchestrated by my dear old dad. He can't stand any place I choose to work. My whole life is a puppet show he directs. If she wants to stir the pot, I say bring it on. My life could use the spice. Maya rolled her eyes, a pained expression on her face like she was staring at a class enemy. You're living the dream and you don't even know it. But what if she actually manages to steal Trevor away from you? I considered it. That would be great. After all, Trevor's entire contribution to our relationship consisted of 3 daily texts. Have you had breakfast? Have you had lunch? Have you had dinner? Having a boyfriend like that was pointless, not to mention the moral pressure it put on me not to look at other guys. Honestly, it would be better if he was gone. But since my father had set us up, I couldn't be the one to break it off. If someone else was chasing him, I could just let nature take its course. Once they got together, I could play the victim and end things. I'd like to see my dad try to argue with that. Before Maya could say another word, my phone buzzed. It was my little copycat, Nina. Chloe? I'm right outside the door. But, could you ask your friend to step out for a second? I'm a little shy. Too. I had to laugh. She shadowed my every move, imitated my entire life, and now she was shy. Interesting. Maya left the restroom to wait for me in the lobby. I leaned against the marble sink, waiting. From outside the door, I heard a few deep, steadying breaths. Then, a small head peeked in. Her eyes were huge, blinking rapidly, her cheeks flushed a delicate pink. When she finally stepped all the way inside, her hands were knotted together at her stomach, twisting nervously. She was like a kitten. This was the college girl who was supposedly my rival? This adorable thing? Chloe, what did you need my help with? Even her voice was soft and sweet. I pushed myself off the counter and gave her a slow once-over, from head to toe. Your stockings. Are they intact? Huh? Nina quickly looked down, checking her legs. Yes, they're fine. Good. Take one off and give it to me. I held her gaze, not letting her look away. Well. Her ears turned a flaming red, and her eyes started to well up. Chloe, did you get a run in yours? I can run out and buy you a new pair right now. You know this brand isn't easy to find. I took a step closer to her. Everything you're wearing right now, from your dress to your shoes, is the exact same as mine. Taking one of your stockings isn't asking too much, is it? I didn't mean to make you angry, she whispered, her lip trembling. Take it off, I said, my voice hardening. If she kept dawdling, my interview would be shot, no paternal interference needed. Nina bit her lip, her face pale as she carefully peeled off one of her stockings and handed it to me. I took it, gave it a little shake, and slid it onto my own leg. This girl, she was about my height and had a similar build. She'd make a perfect mobile backup wardrobe. When I finished adjusting it and looked up, Nina was covering her mouth and nose, her eyes bloodshot and crimson. Oh. Did she think I was some kind of creep? I cleared my throat. I'm not taking it for free. I'll buy you a new pair. Nina just shook her head, her hand clamped tightly over her mouth. I thought for a moment. There were many kinds of creeps, I shouldn't let her get the wrong idea. And if you dare tell anyone about this, I threatened, I'll strip you of every last piece of clothing you copied from me. That probably made me sound even more like a creep. MMPH, she mumbled, her head bobbing between a nod and a shake, before she turned and bolted out of the restroom without a backward glance. Damn. Did my pervy act scare the poor girl off for good? 3. I smoothed down my outfit and walked out to meet Maya, who was practically vibrating with curiosity. What did you do to her? I lifted my leg slightly, showing her the pristine stocking. Maya frowned. You took hers? Yup. Her jaw dropped. I just offered you mine and you said no. But you'll turn around and bully your rival for hers? Aren't you afraid she'll run to Trevor and tell him what a psycho you are? I linked my arm with hers as we headed for the elevator. Relax. She has the desire, but not the nerve. It was about a year ago that I first noticed a girl constantly staring at Trevor. I was about to graduate, and he was a junior. He'd thrown a party with a few close friends to celebrate my homecoming to inherit the family business, and Nina was the only stranger he'd brought along. This is Nina, he'd announced. She's a freshman from one of my clubs. Totally invisible, so she's perfect for serving us drinks. I was instantly annoyed. Trevor could be thoughtless, but he never used his family's status to look down on people. What he was doing now, whether it was bullying her or some bizarre attempt to introduce her to our social circle, was deeply unpleasant. But Nina didn't seem to mind at all. With her bright, kitten-like eyes, she actually started going around asking everyone what they wanted to drink. When she got to me, however, she became exceptionally nervous, fumbling for much longer than with anyone else. Once the drinks were served, she retreated to a dark corner, a small, shadowy figure melting into the background. She didn't look at Trevor, nor did she try to talk to anyone. Just like he said, she was completely invisible. I found it intriguing, so I brought a glass of soda over to her. Want something to drink? No, thank you. I need to look after everyone. I couldn't help but smile. It's just soda. Oh. She took the glass, sniffed it cautiously, and then took a tiny sip. Thank you. Chloe. You came here with Trevor, I said, getting straight to the point. You know he has a girlfriend, and that girlfriend is me. Right? I know. And you still came, trying to steal him away. You're pretty bold. Chloe, please don't misunderstand. I didn't come for Trevor, I. She started choking on her words, but she remembered to grab my hand. I came because. Before she could finish, Trevor appeared at our side. Chloe, what are you doing? Why did you push her? She's choking. Excuse me? I shot a look at Nina. She immediately jumped to her feet, her stutter gone. It has nothing to do with Chloe. I choked all by myself. Trevor's face darkened. Trevor, don't be mad at her, Nina pleaded. It was all my fault. Wow. The textbook victim play. The atmosphere froze. One of our friends stepped in. Nina, that was some seriously manipulative BS. Can you just stop? And Trevor, Chloe is your actual girlfriend. Get a grip on who you're supposed to be defending. He turned to me. Come on, Chloe. Let's not waste our time with them. Let's get a drink. After that, Nina was left alone in her corner. This time, she was so enveloped by the darkness I could barely see her. She didn't say another word to Trevor for the rest of the night. But every now and then, I'd feel her anxious, mournful gaze drift over to me. Oh, for heaven's sake. With her red-rimmed eyes and trembling demeanor, she was just too damn cute. I bet she'd be back pestering Trevor tomorrow. Good. I couldn't wait to see her again. 4. To my surprise, the next day she wasn't trailing Trevor. She was trailing me. The moment I stepped out of my apartment, I saw Nina hiding not so subtly, pretending to be on her phone while she watched me. I went to grab breakfast. Before my seat was even warm, she had bought the exact same pastry and tucked it into her bag. I went shopping. In the blink of an eye, she had managed to find and change into the same outfit I was wearing. Damn it. I'd revealed my favorite boutiques to her. Still, there was something strangely thrilling about seeing her in my clothes. Was my style really that captivating? And what did it say about Trevor? Was it my face or my fashion that had won him over? I called Trevor to meet me and pointed to Nina, who was attempting to hide behind a large tree. Who's prettier, me or her? You are, Trevor said, without a flicker of interest. Look closer, I urged. Nina is wearing the exact same outfit as me today. Even in the exact same outfit, you're prettier, he stated flatly. So it's my face you're attracted to? I smirked. Trevor rubbed the back of his neck. Chloe, what's this about? You know it's your dad's face that really attracts me. We both burst out laughing. So Nina's mimicry was useless. What Trevor was really after was my father's fortune. Hearing our laughter, Nina, leaning against her tree, stumbled as if she'd been struck. Look at her, all flustered. She wanted to steal my man but only had the guts to eavesdrop from a distance. It was both pathetic and adorable. From then on, Nina followed me everywhere, copying my clothes, my shoes, my perfume, right down to my hair ties. And whenever Trevor and I had a date, she would magically appear, contriving some reason to be there, trying to make her presence known. A waitress in a coffee shop. A ball girl at the tennis court. Selling popcorn at the movie theater. You name it, she'd done it. It got to the point where, on my dates with Trevor, I found myself looking forward to Nina's next surprise appearance. The unexpected, the playful, the shy, each new persona sent a thrill of mischievous delight through me. Ugh. Who was she really doing all this for? 5. The interview ended. As expected, thanks to a preemptive call from my father, I did not get the job. But I wasn't mad. You work to earn money, and the allowance my dad gave me was more than enough. My little excursions into the corporate world were just a game to add some father-daughter bonding excitement to our otherwise dull lives. Maya, who had kept me company all morning, got called away by her boyfriend. I remembered I had a boyfriend too, so I gave Trevor a call. Are you busy? Nope. Want to go on a date? Actually, I am a little busy. So childish. I hung up and opened a photo Trevor's roommate had just sent me. There was Trevor, in a secluded grove on campus, his arms around a girl, tutoring her on vocabulary with his lips. And standing behind a large rock, radiating a storm cloud of resentment, was Nina. Sigh. Looks like she was finally realizing that copying my wardrobe wasn't going to work. I called her. Her voice was thick and muffled when she answered. Chloe. The raw hurt in that single word made my heart ache. Meet me at the campus gate. I'm bringing your stocking back. I drove straight to the university and picked up a red-eyed, puffy-faced Nina. Crying this hard, I asked with a gentle smile. You must really be in love with him, huh? I'm not, she mumbled, turning her head to stare out the window. You're not crying, or you're not in love? Not in love. She whipped her head back to face me. Interesting. You've been chasing him for a year, and you're not in love? You're crying your eyes out because you saw him kissing another girl, and you're not in love? That's because. Nina started, clearly agitated, but then she paused, composing herself. I feel bad for you. He has an amazing girlfriend like you, and he still cheats. The car fell silent. I swallowed hard, replaying the dynamics between the three of us in my head. Was she upset because Trevor was kissing someone else, or because Trevor was betraying me? But then, didn't she ever think that her constant pursuit of him might hurt me? Nina, you. I pulled the car over into a parking spot and turned to face her fully. Nina kept her head down, her eyes still red, twisting the hem of her skirt. She'd changed back at her dorm and was now wearing an outfit identical to one I often wore during my senior year. Nina, I asked softly, are you in love with me? Her head snapped up, her eyes wide with shock. As she moved, her soft lips brushed against my cheek. I'm so sorry, so sorry. Her face turned a deep crimson. I didn't mean to. I mean, yes, I like you, but I'm not a freak, I just. What was I supposed to do? This flustered, panicked version of her was like a startled fawn. Oh, damn. My heart was about to go into overdrive. I suppressed the urge to burst out laughing and handed her a bottle of water. Hey, relax. It's just a crush. I'm not going to eat you alive. But. She stammered, clutching the water bottle. I'm a girl. Don't you think it's weird? Or, disgusting? I pulled out my phone and showed her a photo of me at the wedding of two of my female friends. Love is love. Who you like is your business. It's not hurting me, so why would I be disgusted? Nina gave a sad little smile. You're right, Chloe. I am curious, though, I pressed on. Why me? I thought you were after Trevor from the start. No. Her voice rose with emotion, and she shook her head frantically, leaning closer. I don't like Trevor. I only got close to him so I could see you. Her warm breath ghosted across my neck. I never dared to hope I could actually be in your life. I just wanted to watch you from afar. That was enough for me. Some people say they want nothing, yet their eyes burn with a heat that could strip you bare. In that moment, I deeply regretted my extensive knowledge of romance movie tropes. I let out a forced haha, trying to dispel the sudden, charged atmosphere. Summoning the composure of an upperclassman, I started the car again and drove to a boutique I rarely visited. Maybe it was the relief of having her secret out, but Nina was more animated than I'd ever seen her. Her eyes sparkled, never leaving my face. The second we got out of the car, she bounced over to me. Are you buying clothes, Chloe? For you, I said simply. Oh, I have plenty of clothes. You don't need to. I don't like you always wearing the same things as me. As the words left my mouth, right there in broad daylight, without any warning, Nina just started to cry. Big, silent tears rolled down her cheeks. What did I do? I'm sorry, making a beautiful girl cry is my fault. I am a monster. I managed to coax and guide her out of the hot sun and into the store. I get it, Chloe, she whispered, wiping her tears and refusing to let me get close. I bit my lip, my mind racing. Will you just let me explain? You don't have to explain. I just lost control for a second. I told you I wouldn't be a bother. If you don't like it, I'll stop. I'll go change right now. She grabbed a random dress off a rack and headed for the fitting rooms. Nina. I let my voice drop, infusing it with a sense of command. If you don't listen to my explanation, I might just have to get physical. It worked. She stopped but kept her back to me, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. When you always wear the exact same clothes as me, looking at you is like looking in a mirror. Do you get it? I stepped closer, trying to see her face. Tears streamed down her heartbroken fawn face. I just wanted to feel closer to you. I gently wiped a tear from her cheek. I'm not saying you can't wear these things. Of course, you can wear whatever you want. It's just, if looking at you is like looking at myself, and I start to feel something for you, how will I know if I like you, or if I'm just in love with myself? You have to help me with this process of elimination. As I spoke, her eyes grew brighter and brighter. Clearly, she was happy again. She clutched the dress in her hands and dashed into the fitting room. Wait for me, Chloe. A moment later, her voice called out. Chloe? Can you come help me? I leaned against the doorframe. With what? The zipper is stuck. Nina opened the door and, covering her chest with one hand, pulled me inside. The small space filled with her uniquely feminine scent as she turned. The soft lighting cast alluring shadows across her pale collarbones. I tried not to stare, forcing my eyes down to the dress. She had grabbed a strapless maxi dress. Even with the back unzipped, it already hugged her curves perfectly. I suddenly felt a bit lightheaded, wanting to get this over with quickly. Turn around, I told her. Okay. She sounded positively cheerful. Not only did she turn around instantly, but she also lifted her hair up with one hand, giving me plenty of room to work the zipper. But as soon as she let go of the dress, the loose fabric slid downwards. A breathtaking landscape was revealed. I sucked in a sharp breath. Was I supposed to be seeing this? Was this sexual harassment? And why in the world was I so damn excited? I finally understood what it meant for two people to be perfectly in sync, one setting the trap and the other walking willingly into it. I knew Nina was playing me, but I still fell into the trap that every woman falls into when faced with a beautiful woman. I tried so hard to tell myself not to take advantage of the situation, not to be mesmerized by a pretty face. But it was useless. As I helped her pull the dress up and zip it, I couldn't stop looking. Freed from the demure, almost monastic style she copied from me, this woman was stunning in a more tangible, more captivating way. Her skin was flawless, her muscles toned, her lines elegant. She radiated a vibrant beauty, a fusion of adorable charm and athletic grace. What was wrong with Trevor? How could he let her chase him for a year and remain completely unmoved? It was an absolute waste. My prolonged staring finally made Nina self-conscious. What are you looking at, Chloe? She asked, letting her hair fall back over her shoulders. You're beautiful, I said with genuine admiration. She beamed, twirling like a little peacock before facing me again. Then from now on, can I show you all my new outfits first? I narrowed my eyes. That was a very loaded offer. That might be difficult. Trevor is graduating soon, so I won't be coming back to campus anymore. I'm afraid I won't be able to be your audience. Predictably, she started crying again. Her tears were beautiful, genuine, and completely devoid of theatrics. I sighed in resignation, pulling her into a hug and patting her shoulder. I'm sorry, I didn't mean I don't want to see them. My brain just short-circuited. You have to send me pictures of every new outfit, immediately. I want to be your #1 fashion fan. You mean it? Nina immediately took the olive branch, melting against me. Deal? Yes, I nodded, feeling utterly helpless. Then, can I come hang out with you more often? I want to go shopping with you and have dinner and watch movies and eat snacks together. Okay. And can you break up with Trevor? That's crossing a line. Can I pursue you? Nina, I have a boyfriend. Chloe, she whined, her voice pure saccharine. No. Then can I be your best friend? A better friend than any boyfriend could ever be. Can I? I knew it was just a strategic retreat on her part. But I agreed. You can. And so, Nina attached herself to me completely. Every day, wherever I went, she was there. Even Trevor, on the rare occasions we actually went on a date, started to notice something was off. "Chloe, why is Nina always following you around? What could she possibly do to me?" I countered. "It's probably nothing," he said, his tone light, almost arrogant. "But you should still be careful. She chased me for so long and got nowhere. She might be trying a different angle now, getting to me through you." "Thanks for the warning," I deadpanned. And I did need to be careful. After her confession and my rejection in the fitting room, Nina had pivoted her strategy entirely. While my relationship with Trevor was all name and no substance, Nina wanted all the substance and didn't care about the name. In the morning, she'd be waiting downstairs. "Chloe, you smell so good. Let's hug." If we found something delicious to eat, she'd hold it to my lips. "This is so good. Here, Chloe." When we crossed the street, she insisted on holding my hand. "You walk on the inside, Chloe. I'll protect you." And at night, she'd demand a goodnight hug. "A hug, Chloe. For sweet dreams." I complained to Maya. "Nina is weaponizing her beauty. I'm going to end up cheating on Trevor." Maya's eyes lit up. "Go for it. Trevor's cheated on you who knows how many times. It's about time you had some fun. Besides, yesterday's rival becoming today's conquest? That sounds thrilling." "Thrilling, yes," I agreed. "But I haven't broken up with Trevor yet. I need to wait for the right moment." Trevor was graduating and heading home to take over the family business. It was only polite that I throw him a celebration party, just as he had for me. This time, however, Nina didn't arrive with Trevor's entourage. She was by my side from the very beginning, helping me manage the event. So, the moment Trevor walked in, his eyes locked onto her. "Nina, get over here," he commanded. His arrogant tone made everyone in the room pause to watch the unfolding drama. Why should I? Nina didn't even bother to look at him, instead trying to guide me away. "Nina, have you gone crazy chasing after Trevor?" one of Trevor's friends jeered. "You think you can just bother Chloe now?" "Yeah," another chimed in. "Trevor and Chloe are perfect for each other, same class, same status. What are you really trying to do by clinging to Chloe? First you chase the guy, now you chase the girl. Are you trying to break them up or something?" The group of guys who came with Trevor started to get loud. They were all from our circle, they knew the deal between me and Trevor. And while I never said a word about the girls constantly orbiting him, Trevor knew the one rule was to never let them get in my face. "Nina, what's so great about him? Come with me, I don't have a girlfriend," one of Trevor's buddies slurred, reaching for her arm. "Hey, Will, not cool, man. You might not have a girlfriend, but you've got plenty of friends. Nina, be my girlfriend. I may not be as rich as Trevor, but I'm way better than Will." The group laughed, treating Nina like a trinket they could pass around once they decided who wanted her. Nina stepped out from behind me. "Trevor, I admit I followed you for a while, but I never confessed to you. I never once said I liked you, did I? Besides, I already have someone I like. She is kind and beautiful. Why would I go digging through your trash heap for a rat? You should all take a look in the mirror." Fearing things would escalate and ruin the night, I wrapped an arm around Nina's waist to make my stance clear. "Everyone, Nina is my guest tonight. This has nothing to do with Trevor, or any of you. I'd appreciate it if we could all just enjoy the party and stay out of each other's business." The crowd stared, their eyes darting to Trevor. He scowled and stomped over. "Chloe, this girl is bad news. Don't let her use you." "How could she possibly use me? Instead of worrying about her, maybe you should worry about the person who just walked in." I pointed to a girl who had just entered, the same one Nina had seen Trevor kissing in the grove. She was flanked by two burly men with buzz cuts and sunglasses. They strode confidently toward Trevor, and the girl slapped a sonogram picture onto the table in front of him. "Trevor, you are going to give me an answer tonight. Trevor's face went pale. He quickly signaled his friends, who swarmed around him, creating a barrier between him and the girl. One of his cronies spoke up. "Sophie, you mess up and get yourself pregnant, and now you're trying to pin it on Trevor? Who knows whose kid that is? Get lost." But the two bodyguards simply shoved the guys aside, revealing biceps that looked ready to burst through their shirts. "Trevor. So you're all talk and no action, huh? She's from a good family. You think you can just throw some money at her for an abortion and this will all go away? If you don't come up with a satisfactory solution tonight, we've got some intimate photos of you. Want us to send them to your girlfriend?" Suddenly, all eyes were on me again. "I don't want to see them." "Don't drag me into this," I said quickly, shaking my head. "Unless you mean a different girlfriend, in which case, never mind." Trevor was starting to panic. He grabbed my arm. "Chloe, they're setting me up. I'll explain everything later, just please, trust me." Nina slapped his hand away. "Don't touch her. You're filthy." "She's right," I said, pulling my arm back. "You are filthy. We're done." The public humiliation Trevor caused me was finally enough to make my father give up on the idea of him as a son-in-law. But just as he called to inform me of the next candidate I was to meet, Nina was pushing me down onto my bed. "Chloe," she whispered, her fingers tracing the line of my hair, her breath mingling with mine. "You don't have a boyfriend anymore. Can I be your girlfriend now? This girl. This Nina." On a normal day, she was all Chloe this and Chloe that, a sweet, harmless little rabbit. But at the crucial moment, she moved like an emperor commanding her world. My every emotion was a pawn in her game. "Chloe, will you be my princess?" What could I say? I was a woman who appreciated life's pleasures, and Nina had captured me with pure, unadulterated desire. I answered my dad's call and laid it all out. "Dad, you're too late. I just got a girlfriend." "What did you say?" I said, "I have a girlfriend." "Chloe, do you have any idea what you're?" I hung up on him. He'd just yell at me again tomorrow anyway. I wrapped my arms around Nina and pulled her close. Let me enjoy the calm before the storm. It seemed my dad was genuinely angry this time. The man who was always too busy to breathe actually took a trip to Nina's university, the same one I attended, where he never once showed his face for me. When I arrived at the office, Nina, the dean of the college, and my father were arranged in a tense triangle, all staring at a PowerPoint presentation. Nina saw me and gave a subtle nod, as if to say, "It's all under control." My father saw me and shot me a look that screamed, "You're in for it now." The dean, a man nearing 50, cleared his throat. "In principle, we do not interfere with our students' personal relationships. And you are both adults. However, since a parent is present, I feel it is my responsibility to say a few words for the sake of your healthy development. Miss Vance, regardless of who you like or wish to be with, you must consider whether the other party is receptive." Nina clicked to the next slide, which displayed a screenshot of a text message from me to her. "I love you, Nina. I will spend my life protecting your happiness." The dean pretended not to see it and continued. "And even if your feelings are mutual, you must consider the societal pressures you will face, the judgment of others, pressure from parents to marry, not to mention financial pressures, buying a house, a car, the cost of raising the next generation." The next slide showed a screenshot of Nina's bank account balance. There were 7 zeros before the decimal point. The room fell silent. "Which Vance family are you from?" my father asked, breaking the silence. "The Vances from Seaport City. The Vance family only has one son." "That's right," Nina said with a smile. "I'm that son." "You?" I asked, confused. A fragmented memory from childhood surfaced. I remembered visiting Seaport City once, and my dad took me to dinner at the home of a very wealthy associate. That man had a son, younger than me, whose grandmother was always calling him Ace. "Nina, your childhood nickname wasn't Ace, was it?" "I knew you'd remember me, Chloe." Nina skipped over and linked her arm through mine. "So, sir," she said, turning to my father, "can I be with your daughter?" "Dad?" I looked at him. My father stood up and turned to the dean, his voice dripping with apology. "I am so sorry to have troubled you with our family matters." "Not at all," the dean replied, also rising. "You are a vital supporter of our college. It is our pleasure to be of service." So it was true. Money really did make the world go round. Nina squeezed my hand, giving me a look that said, "See? All under control." The revelation that Nina was the sole heir to the seaport city Van Cess and that she'd been chasing me since childhood, promising to marry me, completely won over my father. His insistence on my marriage to Trevor had been threefold: a business alliance, repayment of an old favor to the Trevor family, and a subtle plan to use their family line for a grandchild. Was the Trevor family an absolute necessity? Not really. And now, the Vance heir had appeared, a family so powerful my own would have to grovel for an audience. "Dad," I asked him later, "don't you think you're being a little materialistic?" My father stared at the ceiling. "What's wrong with being materialistic? If I weren't, you never would have met Nina as a child." I was speechless. With my father's blessing, Nina officially moved in with me. One night, after she had once again transformed from a kitten into a tiger and left me utterly breathless, I confronted her. "You really kept that hidden deep, didn't you?" "You can't blame me," she said, laughing from under the covers. "You were the one who was never bothered by anything. If you had been, you would have figured it out ages ago, right?" She had a point. A college student who could effortlessly afford to match my designer wardrobe, piece for piece, was obviously not from an average family. I should have seen the signs. But it wasn't too late now. And I was glad.